Peavey Electronics, and we're here to talk to Joe a little bit about his relationship with Peavey and his brand new amplifier. So, welcome, Joe. We're glad to have you at the Peavey booth.
Thank you. Can you hear me at all? It doesn't sound like it's working. I feel like a stand-up comic at a small nightclub. Two Peavey guys going to a bar. And okay.
So Joe, tell us how you got started with Peavey and your relationship with Hartley a little bit.
Okay, this is the story. So this goes back to a NAMM show in Los Angeles a number of years ago. I decided I'm going to go look around to see if there's a company out there that wants to build some amplifiers, but I'm not going to do the usual thing, go through the manager, make the professional calls, talk about money first. So I just went walking around with my son, and we just went to all the major amplifier manufacturers, and I started talking to guys about amplifier ideas. And what I found out was that most of the manufacturers really were interested in artists endorsing something they already made, which really wasn't something I was interested in. So the only other company that I didn't get to talk to was Peavey, because there was this enormous crowd around the Peavey booth because Eddie Van Halen was all the way upstairs and he wasn't coming down. That's what I remember. Right. And I seemed like I couldn't get a hold of anyone to talk because there was a crisis going on. So anyway, when I got back to San Francisco, I thought, well, I'll just call them up and I'll see what they're like. And the best way to find out what a company's like is you just call them. And so the first step was the receptionist, and she was very nice. And I said, I'm a guitar player, and I'd like to talk to somebody who deals with endorsements. And they connected me with this guy. Turned out that this guy, Bill Xavier, used to be a student of mine back in San Francisco, years and years. Somehow we lost track of each other. And I told him that whole story about wandering around the NAMM show looking for amplifier designers. And he convinced me that Peavey is going to be the place for you, and I'll tell you why. And that is because they are interested in innovation, and they can do it all right there. You don't have to worry about your ideas getting outsourced and losing track of what it is that you want to do. Hartley Peavey has got everything there. He's got all the talent there, and you can pull into Meridian and you can work out your ideas, and these things become a reality. And that's, after all, that's what the guitar players need. They need the amps. It can't be a dream. It can't be a figment of your imagination. It's actually got to look like that. You got to be able to plug into it and do gigs with it, And so that's how we started. And it's been, in this short few years that I've been associated with Peavey, we've got 4 things out now, and I use them every night that I play. I use them in the studio, and that should be the only thing I have to really say about it, because that's really what it's all about. You work with a company, they build stuff that works, you take it on the road, you take it in the studio, and that is the true testament that the relationship is working. And we're here today specifically about this little guy right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amplifiers that you use are the exact same amplifiers as the amplifiers that we build and sell to the public. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And before you came to Peavey, was there ever an opportunity where you used some of our equipment?
Yes. It's funny you should ask that. I love that question. One of the, going back to that original story, when I got back from that NAMM show and I was thinking, I'm going over the places that I visited and the amps that I've had before, and I have a small collection of amps that I've collected over the years, and it's pretty much every amp you would imagine. But when I went through the books that we kept, the logs from all the records we made, there was a constant, and that was the Peavey gear, the Classic 50, the 5150, the stuff that was always used on every record. While there were Marshalls that came and went, and Fenders that came and went, Boogies that came and went, the Peaveys always stayed. It's the same 2 amps, as a matter of fact. There wasn't a lot of movement going on there. And the other part of that was what I was using them for. And that sort of crystallized in my head a little bit when I started to have that first talk with the engineers at Peavey, when they said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, this is what's been successful. Parts of this amp, parts of that amp. And it would be great if we could put them together with some other kind of things that I like about other amps. And that's always a good place to start, especially since 2 of those designs were in-house. They were products of Peavey.